So, all right, welcome back, everyone. As you can see up here, we have a practice semester test. We're going to be going through the next couple problems. We've done up through, from Thursday up till yesterday, we did the first 7 problems, 1 through 7, right? Today, we're doing 8 and 9 today. And then tomorrow we'll do 10 and 11. Today, I believe we have a race format question today. So we gotta get through that. I said it was pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. It is. I want to keep it easy. It's interpreting a graph. So you're looking at a picture like a map, and you're telling me what you're looking at. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. It'll be something a little more specific tomorrow, so you can give me a quick answer. But then you have to describe how you know it. Okay, so we'll get to that today. Tomorrow we have 2 questions. I know it's a weird early out tomorrow. We still have some serious work to do tomorrow. Those 2 questions we have to finish are pretty serious. Okay, obviously our semester test is on Tuesday, January 5th. Our practice guide, this thing, is due on Monday the 4th when we're back after winter break. If you need it to study, you'll need to make a copy of it or take pictures of it before you come in Monday to turn this in. If you know you're that person that misplaces things, maybe you want to turn it in early and just take pictures of it. Who knows? Because this is worth a massive amount of points. But you could also, print off a new one over break. You could write it down on a separate sheet of paper, use the website, and go watch the video and fill out each of the questions again, because I have the videos all posted. So you could go do that. Okay. But now the other thing I added to the board, and I forgot to tell you guys this yesterday. I meant to, and I forgot. We're doing a book check on Wednesday after our semester test. So that's January 6th. A book check. That's the physical book you have. I'm going to do a book check. So I want to see that there's a cover on it, and I want to see that you have the right book number still. Okay? Does that make sense? That'll be Wednesday after the semester test. That way you have a week to go find that book. Okay? So you have, over break, you can go find where you have it. Maybe it's at home, maybe it's in your locker. Just make sure it's accounted for and the book cover's on it. Okay, because I want to do that. I like to do it once a quarter. Well, it's coming down to the end of the quarter. I think we probably should do it now. And it's nice to know if you still have it after break. That way it's at least around somewhere. So find it. Okay? All right. Questions? Good. Let's jump right in. Let's do our thing today. So I think I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay. So jumping right in, number 1, again, I'm not going through every problem. I just want to talk about the basics. Number 1, you have to find the work or the hours worked, and then figure out what your pay is after overtime and all that. 2 is a commission. You got to figure out how much you made on the sale and with your salary added to it. This one, you have to figure out what your net pay is after you do all the deductions off your gross paycheck. This one, you have to calculate the down payment and then what the mortgage loan you're going to take after you did your down payment. 5, you have to calculate, this is the one you have to know your formula, the compound interest formula. You have to calculate what you're going to pay total over 30 years and then figure out the interest you paid. That was the extra cash after you subtract out the mortgage. No down payment on that previous one. 6, this is the one you also have to memorize the formula. It's the simple interest. I think we did this one yesterday, correct? We did problem number 6 yesterday. So we had to calculate this one. It had its own formula. You have to have it memorized, and you have to tell me what the monthly payment is on this vehicle. You're paying a lot of extra money for this vehicle because of the 4% interest over 6 years. It was like $6,000 or something like that, or it was something like that, I think. Okay, and then 7 is the one. I think we finished on this one yesterday. It was a insurance policy. You had to figure out what you're paying total, or this particular person, Lindsay here, is paying total, and then you had to also multiply that factor by 1.229. So that was a multiplier because she has a certain thing on her policy that required it because it was for business. So, all right, questions with any of the 7 we've done the last 3 days in here? If you need to see a formula, you need to see something else. Perfect. Again, you can go on my website, view it. I have every video up there. They'll stay up there for eternity. Go watch those videos. Okay. I'll even probably send you emails over break to remind you, hey, here's the links for the videos. Here's the web addresses you can go to. I'll probably post them on Google Classroom, and I'll send you a direct email personally to you that states those web addresses in case you can't find it, you forget my web address. So I'm going to try to keep you guys up to date on that stuff because I think it's important that you guys have that option for review. Okay, we're going to start with 8. We're going to go to number 9 today. I only want to do 2 problems. 8 is pretty easy. We're going to calculate the cost of repairs And then on this one, we also have the cost of labor. Now, the taxes on this only go on parts. And I even say that in the instructions, if you can see that up there. Taxes only apply to the parts you're purchasing. Okay? So on this one, I'm going to be adding these parts together right here. You're going to add these numbers up. So if you add this cost up, what do we get? Does anyone need a calculator, by the way? Okay, boom, boom. Okay, let me hand these out. Let me put my mask on. Let me have my mask on. What am I doing? Amateur hour in here. Anyone else need one? Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go through this. Let's add these up. What do we get? We get 185, we're adding the 30, we're adding the 7.5, we're adding the 27.99. What do we get? Yep, $250.49. That is just the parts. That is the cost of parts. Now you don't have to rate that, I'm just reminding you. That's what that 250 is. That is not our final answer. That is just the cost of just adding our pieces together. What do we need to apply to that $250? 1.07. Yeah, we have to do the taxes. So you're absolutely right. What I would do for taxes, this is 7% taxes. 7% is written as 0.07. Do it, if you didn't hear that, you're going to multiply by 1.07. Put a 1 in front of it, it will automatically add it in for you. It'll add the taxes. That's how a cash register works. It just puts a 1 in front of that taxes. So 1.07, you're going to multiply it on the 250.49. What are we getting? $268. Yep, and 2 cents. 268.02. This is the part you need to know. If you can add that 1 in front of it, it'll automatically add the taxes in when you multiply. That's kind of nice. It's 100% plus 7%. That's what it's doing. Now, we're not finished. That is just the cost for parts after you leave the register. Now we have to also install these in your car, right? The radiator, the alternator, the fan belt, the filter, the oil. So we have to do the 1.6 hours. So we have to do the 1.6 hours, and we have to multiply by what the price is per hour. So it's $45 an hour. That's actually pretty cheap for a mechanic. So 45 bucks times 1.6, that was $72. And yes, I said that was cheap. Around here, our mechanics are really expensive. That's a good kind of business to get into. So 72 bucks to install and do an oil change and an alternator for 1.6 hours. Then you're going to add these two together. So your final price, you're going to take the 268.02, and you're going to add the $72 on. This will be your total cost of your bill in the long run. They do not tax the working. They only tax parts, something that's manufactured. So what are we getting? $340.02. Okay, questions? That's it. This is the total. Now, I want to see all that work. I want to see how you're getting to this. Don't just give me that price and show me nothing else. Are we good? Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you. We'll have a decent list of stuff you're going to have to install in the car. I'll kind of warn you if you're buying one or more items. I'll make it an itemized list where I have everyone listed separately. Because if we did like plugs, like spark plugs, or if we did, other weird little things, like you could buy more than one of each. So. All right, let's jump to our last problem. This is the last problem of the day. In fact, I need my keyboard case because we're going to have to do some typing here. At least I am, so you guys can see this a little bit better. This is our race format question, okay? If you don't know what race format is, okay? A race format is where you have to restate the question and answer it, You have to restate and answer. That's what R and A stand for, restate and answer. Then the C stands for cite or clarify. Then E stands for expand or explain. So we're going to restate and answer, clarify, cite our answers, and explain and expand upon your reasoning. I basically picked this picture because it was in your textbook. I know it's a little faded. You can do the best you can. I think it looks okay in your test, but up here it looks terrible. Like this projector's losing all of its color. So, all right. But anyway, we have to figure out the best way, which route we should travel. You're interpreting this from your graph. The things I would like to know. Okay, we should figure out the answer before we start. Then we'll go into writing our explanation. When you write a race format question, 3, 4, 5 sentences, something like that, right? You got to be. How I always explain race format is after you restate and answer your question, the first line, you need to explain well enough that if somebody walked in here and read your explanation, it would be so detailed they wouldn't need to look at the map to see it. That way you're doing enough words. It doesn't have to be just 3, 4 sentences or 5 sentences. Explain enough that somebody would not need to pick up this picture to interpret what you just did. Okay, so and I'll explain kind of how you expand. So the big thing is we're going from Benson to Coalfield. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight those on this picture. So here is Benson. It's over here, right next to the airport, and we're going to Coalfield, which is up here. Okay, and so and it's where the dot is, by the way. It's where that dot is. It's right. In fact, I'm going to highlight those dots. It's right here, and here's the other town. It's on the white dots. Now they're yellowed for me. It's not at the box on the interstate. Put a town on the interstate. Okay. Now, what do you guys think? What would be the best route? Let's discuss it.
17 over 20. 117 over 20.
Yep, 117, and then you're going up 20. I absolutely agree. So let's talk about that. Let's draw this out. We're going up 117. This is the route I'd be taking, and then going up 20.
Because then if you're taking 8 off, you would kind of backtrack.
Yep. And the problem is with taking like 8 up, I don't know the distance going across. That's my only issue. If I did 8, Highway 8 up, if I went this direction and over, I don't know the distance, so I don't want to list that. Maybe that is the faster route, but I can't tell you in terms of distance why that would be the better route. Maybe you could justify it with your reasoning that it's an interstate, you can travel faster on an interstate. I don't know, but that's something that you need to be able to explain. You'll have enough detail in your picture to compare. What about if I went this direction and up? Why? I agree, but why? Yeah, it's too far, right? That's something maybe in the explaining part or the expanding part you want to talk about, right? You would be like, well, I'm not going to go, across on, I'm not going to go west on 151. Take a right on Highway 20 and go up because, agree, we were traveling too far. Adding up those distances, the mileage, that was 7, 7, 2, and 2. So, that's going on the 151 route. Ooh, what am I just doing? 151, so west of 151 to Parkton. And then north on 20. And so that was 7 plus 7 plus 2 plus 2, right? And so that ended up being 14 plus 4, which is 18 miles. As opposed to the real route that you guys explained was take Highway 117. Take Highway 117 kind of northwest for 9 miles. Then take a right, that'd take you to Dover. And then you're going to take a right and go on Highway 20. So that's going directly north for 4 miles. And so that ends up being 13 miles. Right? So, that's the route I would take. And that would be something I would do in my explanation, like compare different routes. If I had enough information from this, maybe they told me on this over here, maybe this was 20 miles over here. I could say, okay, hey, I'm not taking Interstate 146 because maybe the picture isn't to scale. So maybe I don't want to take highway or the Interstate 46 because I don't want to travel 20 miles. Now, maybe it would be worth it if you knew how fast you're going on the interstate. If you're going, maybe it's 80 miles an hour. Ooh, I could be getting there faster maybe. So that's another thing to think about. It's like maybe it comes down to speed. That could be something you can expand upon. You can make up a whole story problem with it. You could try to justify your work. Okay, does everyone understand kind of what we're doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm gonna write out my story. So the question is, what route would you take to travel from Benson to Coalfield? I think for my explanation, I'm gonna use this one. I like this route. Okay, but I want to be as detailed as possible when I start writing. Okay, so I'm gonna get you started. I'm not gonna finish this because I don't want to like influence you and just write this whole thing out for you. This is one that you have to kind of finish on your own. So, all right, here we go. Signal stopped. Why'd the signal stop? Oh no. Okay, hold on. No! No! Let's start over. I stopped the quick time. Oh, what a nightmare. What else could go wrong today on these stupid videos?
Is it stopping?
It did stop. It unplugged when I picked it up. My voice will be out of sync. Oh, what a nightmare. That's getting any worse for my videos today. Wow, what a rough start to a Tuesday. Okay. But yeah, so let's go and let's type this out. So I'm gonna go to this next one, and yes, I'm gonna actually type so you guys can see this a little bit better. I'll switch the aspect ratio so it looks better. Okay, so the route I would travel from what were the two towns again?
Benson and Coalfield.
Benson to Coalfield would be northwest on Highway 117, turning right onto Highway 20, and traveling the remaining 4 miles north. Right there, I answered, I restated the question, what is the route I would travel from Benson to Coalfield? I restated it, and I answered it in one go. Does that make sense? The rest of the rest of the race format is explaining the details of what we did. I was detailed enough in that explanation. Maybe you don't want to put as much as I did. Maybe you just want to say, I'll take Highway 117 to Highway 20 to Coalfield. You answer the question, right? But now when we get to our body of our race format, you want to put all the little details maybe. Leaving Benson, going northwest, traveling 9 miles to Dover, turning right on Highway 18. Do you see or Highway 20? Do you see like all the little details? So detail. Blah, blah, blah. All right. And don't put that. Okay, you get the idea. Okay. Write enough sentences that it makes sense to you. I do want you to actually write yours to get some practice with this. Now, I'm going to warn you, the race format question is going to be 10 points. It's 10 points. So some of these questions are about 10 points. Some of them are. This one in particular, now how it works. The first sentence is 2 points. So you have to restate and answer it. Yeah, it's 10 points for this problem. Okay? So,
study guide?
Yes. This study guide is worth like 60-some points. So you want to get it done. So you don't want to leave it blank. It's 2 points for the first sentence. It's a point for the restating the question and a point for answering it. Then the body is the other 9 points. The details, the clarifying, the expanding, being as detailed as possible so that it makes sense. Does that work for you guys? Luckily for this class, this is an easy problem. Like, this is super simple to type this up. That's how math and race format really go really well together, because it's simple answers, cut dry. This is the answer, right? If you want to like get really detailed and get throw in some weird stuff, you can do that. Just make sure you have correct sounding math, that it's grammatically correct, full sentences, period, punctuation. I'm not an English major, but I know the basics and I can grade it. Now the reason why it's 10 points and 9 points for the body, that's exactly the point systems that the English department uses, right? For theirs. They provided all the classes with a rubric. I use the same rubric as your English classes because the administration makes us, so I have to use it. So that's why it's going to be 10 points. Yeah, some of the other questions on your practice guide are worth about 10 points. So don't feel like this is the only big one. It's not. You have some pretty monstrous problems on some of those. So, especially that one with the mortgage, and you had to calculate what the interest was. That problem's worth a lot of points. So, thank you. All right, questions at all? All right, we're done for the day. That's it. I'm going to stop my recordings and all that good stuff.